So, we are discussing packages in Java. In the last module, we have introduced the concept of packages, that means how the built-in API packages are there in Java JDK, and then how a user can define their own package. Now, today we will discuss much more information about Java packages. This is regarding access and then maintaining and then specification. So, today basically discussed mainly we will discuss about how a package can be accessed, and so far the access is concerned how the different access specification works in case of packages it is there. So, first thing is that how whenever you are running one program, how your runtime environment, runtime manager, Java runtime interpreter can understand that which package is located where. In order to give this information, so it is better is that you can set the class path. Class path is basically a system variable, environment variable in any operating system, Windows, in Unix or in Mac OS, whatever it is there is a way of setting the path. So, class path is one variable, environment variable is there, you have to set it. So, class path basically should tell that where your packages are located. So, whenever you refer to a package, the Java runtime the interpreter will consult this class path name and then get the exact location to locate it. So, this is the there are three ways in fact by which you can specify the explicitly you can specify the location of a package. So, the first is that it is a default of course, that it consider that all the packages is under your working directory. So, Java runtime interpreter, if you do not mention any class path in your environment variable, we will try to find by default any directory which has the same name as the package name that you have mentioned in your import statement, and that directory if it is there under your working directory. So, this is the first method, very trivial method of course. So, if you maintain one package under a working directory of your program where you want to run it, then it will work. The second method is basically setting the class path environment variable. This is the way, and this is the more sophisticated way I should say, because all the time you may not maintain all the package directory under your working directory. You can maintain here and there and here. So, that is fine, but if you can explicitly mention that this is the name of the package and this is the class path, it will work for you to access this package from anywhere. It is not necessary that all packages should be under your working directory. And third is explicitly you can call a particular package by the JavaC command. So, JavaC, suppose you want to run one program which is there in say xyz package which is under ABC. So, you should write at javac abc.xyz dot the name of the class file that is there. So, it will run it. So, this is the Java, and JavaC needs to be explicitly mentioned there. So, these are the three ways it is there. So, you can use it. Now, here again as an example, so that I can discuss about that, suppose my pack is the user defined package is there, and you can mention that this my pack is under your working directory immediately after your working directory, or you can use the two other method, class path setting or explicitly mentioning while you are invoking JavaC or Java that this is the location. Now, if you mention the class path setting, then my pack, and then you just mention the class path as C my programs under Java and the name of the directory. So, it is basically to mention that in which root directory or parent directory under which the path, that only needs to be mentioned in your class. So, basically Java runtime interpreter will consult this class path environment variable and check that whether in according to that path your package is there or not. If it is not there, it will that package does not found or no class file available. So, this kind of command it will be there. And here is an example, a very simple example that we can consider about it. Here we have declared one class, the name of the class is balance, and then it is declared in package mypack. So, we are basically creating one package, the name of the package is mypack, and in this package the class is class balance. And one thing that it is not here although, but you should consider that this, as I already told you, that all the class which are belong to a package should be declared as a public. So, here this is required. So, public. So, public access specification it is required. If you do not do, then you will not be able to use it. And here again this is if it is a public, and all the access specification by virtue of default access specification is also public. So, these are all basically it is a public class, it is a public class, and in this under this public class we decide we declare name as a data type string, balance val is a type float, and there is a method, this is also public method is a constructor, and as it is public this is also public. So, it is a public constructor, and it also has a void method, a show method also public like. So, this is a typical look of a class. Basically, it will create an object of type class balance containing all these fields and the methods. So, is basically the package, the class is there. Once this package is created, we can use it, you can use this class file in any program, and this is the one class you can define. It is basically this mypack can be created under this directory where this class is defined. So, this is the class file under an working directory, and this is the file in a package. Now, this is a typical look of the program, is basically this is the class file account balance main class, because the main method is there, and it will able to access all the members which are there without any error, because this is a class, all methods are class. So, it is accessible to any class from anywhere, it is like this because of the class access specification. So, this basically gives a simple example that a class can be created, can be stored in a package, and that package, that class can be utilized in any other Java programs as if it is your own defined class like. So, this is the concept, and then class path, if we set the class path of this mypack, then that there is a import statement that you have to do it. So, here obviously the import statement is missing. So, import mypack, in this case import mypack and then use it. So, you can use it like that one. Okay. And this import mypack, once it is mentioned, it will consult that Java runtime interpreter will consult that this mypack is a package is located where. So, it is like this. Otherwise, the second way it is that instead of this one we can write import and then full setting x dot y dot this one, and then we can write balance. That means, okay, this means that this is an x is a root directory, under this y directory, under that directory the mypack, and then under that directory this balance file is there. So, this is also one way by which we can specifically tell other than the class path setting is there. So, these are the way that you can use it to define the different way, so that a location of a particular class belongs to a package can be specified. Now, again in a nutshell, we have to create your own program. The name of the program, as we have discussed earlier, that account balance.java, and put it in a directory, and that directory before the mypack directory whatever it is there. If you put into the same directory as the package also it will work, no issue. Then we have to compile the file, so that that class file is there, and then try to executing the account balance class file using the command whatever it is there, and then you can got it. So, it is the basic idea, it is there. Now, here you see in this case, in this example that I have discussed here, account balance is your program. So, it is basically if you see the program here, this is the account balance is the user defined one class we have created here, and this is the package class, but they can be put into together in the same class directory. So, no need to specify explicitly the location of the import statement is not required. If you want to put all those things in the same directory, actually no import location is there, but if they are in a different directory and then import statement is a must. Now, here okay, fine. So, here again okay. So, okay, continuing this discussion. So, account balance is the class that we have created as an application Java program, we store into the same as a package directory mypack, and then compile it, it will work absolutely no problem, no need to this one. Now, see here account balance, the class that you have created is now part of the mypack. In fact, that means any other program can use it, but again be careful, the main class can be used in any import statement only once. If you want to access one class which is in the package having the main class in addition to the main class in your own application, then again it is a compilation error. So, you cannot do that, you should not do that. So, usually it is good practice that the package should contain only the non main classes, that is what the thing it is there, and you can use it like that. Okay. So, this is the concept that we have discussed about it. Now, regarding importing a package, we have to consider few more cases, few more steps to be considered very carefully, which we are going to discuss now. So far the import statement is concerned, there are two ways that import can be explained. So, import only the name of the package, it is possible if you decide that package in a class path setting. If you do not do, then you use the dot comma dot statement, that dot 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 explicitly specifying the location of the particular package, it is there. In this example, as we can see, so if package 1 is the name of top level and then package 2 is the sub package, and under this package a particular class that you want to access it, then you can write it using import package 1 dot package 2 then dot class name. So, is a dot comma dot the periods actually can be used there. So, either dot a particular class name explicitly or dot star all classes belong to that package whatever it is there. Otherwise, here this is also one way if you can specify as an example, right. So, this basically is an illustration of this concept is basically import java.util.date. This means that I want to use the date class in my class now, and this is also basically I want to import all classes which belongs to .io packages that is there in JDK. So, these are the basically util and IO are the two API packages and we can access it. Okay, so, this is the import statement, it is very simple that import statement is there, you have to specify it, and also we can mention using your own package, you can just import package name dot class name, the same concept. Whenever you build a package, whether it is a API package or it is a user defined package, there is no discrimination. You can use, you can access in the same way, it is API or it is a user defined package. So, the concept is similar, is generic rather, no difference concept are to be followed. Now, so we have discussed about package maintenance and then how we can access it. Now, I just want to discuss about the access protection for a package. This is very important and needs to be discussed, needs to be learned also very carefully, because if it is not maintained properly, then either it is a compilation error, you will not be able to build your program successfully. So many concepts are there. So, access protection already we have discussed while we are discussing about the information hiding by virtue of 4 access specifier: default, public, private, protected, these things. Now, all these access modifiers are equally applicable to the package classes also. So, we will discuss about how the access protection in the context of packages are. Now, so here is basically the idea about that, because a package can play in between the different classes. So, it is basically interplay between classes. So, Java should have a very good visibility control and naming convention equally. So, subclasses, as you see, Java addresses 4 categories of visibility for class members. It basically visibility for subclasses which are in the same package, that means a class is declared and a subclass is basically inherited class is also declared, and if they belong to the same package, this is the visibility one type of is there. The non subclasses in the same package, that is obviously package is there are many classes, not necessarily subclasses of other classes like this. Subclasses in different package, one class belong to say package P1, whereas the from the class which belong to P1 there may be subclass in say Q, in other package Q, another subclass of the class belong to P is in other sub packages R, like this one. So, subclasses in different categories. So, how the visibility can be controlled, and then classes, those are neither in the same packages nor in the subclasses are there. So, these are the 4 different ways the visibility needs to be controlled, and obviously, for these visibility things are there, access specifier, public, private, protected, it is applicable. Now, default is not a useful access specification so far the public is concerned. This is because the default is applicable to all the classes either in the same program file or in the same packages is there. So, usually people avoid default access specification so far the package is concerned. So, if you use the default access specification, then you only limit to that package into that limit to that classes into that directory, that packages only. So, all classes belong to a same package can use the default classes that is there. But anyway, so we will discuss more critically all this access specification, namely default, private, public and protected. Obviously, we can follow some example to understand the concept, it is there. Now, again the table that I want to place it, so that all 4 categories of visibility that can be including the same class. As you know, if it is a same class, any method can access any member belong to the same class. So, visibility is basically true for all members belong to the same class. So, it is same class, visibility is the true for whether the access specification you specify, it does not matter. Now, if it is the same package subclass, that means a subclass which belong to the same, except the private member, all other access specification does not have any limitation. So, if you specify the private, then no subclass method can access the private member. However, if it is a default, it can no modifier means default, and then protected and public can be accessible to the subclass. So, this is obvious. The same package non subclass, that means it is not a subclass, but belong to the same package. So, private cannot access, default cannot default can access, protected can access, and then public obviously it can access. So, if it is the same package, but not subclass, then it can access it. Now, different package subclass. So, a subclass, but that subclass is belongs to the different directories, different package. So, private no way, default is also no way, but protected it can, because it is a subclass, and then public it can, because it is public, and then different package non subclass. So, private cannot access, default cannot access, protected cannot access, whereas public it can access. So, this is the table, it is a similar table that we have discussed in the context of information accessing, it is there. So, this is the way you can think about it, and then it will work for you. Now, okay, so after having this kind of summary of different access modification, it is better to discuss about using some example. Now, this is the one example, although little bit complex example, because it is really difficult to maintain one simple example to illustrate all the features regarding the access protection in packages. Now, even I have tried it to make it as simple as possible here. We consider the 2 packages, my package 1 and my package 2. They are different, it is not that okay, in some same directory or sub directory, whatever it is there. Let us consider 2 different sub directories are there, my package 1 and then my package 2. In this my package 1, we plan 3 classes, class X, class y, class A, which belongs to the my package 1 directory, and class y is a basically subclass of class X. And as I told you, if all they are member of a package, they should be declared as public. So, here these are all public class, I have not mentioned explicitly public class. Similarly, here the two classes which belong to the another package my package 2 also public, and Z is basically a derived class subclass of the class X. X is again superclass belongs to the package 1. So, okay, fine. So, this is the organization of the two packages. That two packages contains 5 different classes actually X, Y, A, Z and B, out of which Y and Z are the subclasses. Now, having this organization, let us have certain simple what is called the structure of the 5 different classes one by one. Let us first have the idea about the first class X which belong to the class package 1. So, we are defining, we are rather creating or building the class X belong to the package my package 1. Here just note it, the class X contains 4 members including its own constructor, and class X is public, as I told you it should be declared as a public. Now, here int n is an integer type variable which is declared as a public because public is a default. Now, P is a private member, Q is a protected member, R is a public member again. So, default int is basically default access specifier by default as is public. So, it will be public, private, P is a private, Q is protected and R is public. So, 4 members are declared with 4 different access specification. Just N, P, Q, R we have to remember that default means it is a public, private, protected and R is public. Now, okay, if I ask you R is public, this means that any class whether it is a subclass of this X or it is any other class belongs to any other part, R is accessible. So, regarding R it does not a problem. Now, here is the problem regarding either default access specification, in this case N and then P, Q, all these things. So, N is a public, so no issue, default is no issue, but again there is a issue, of course, we shall discuss it. Now, let us save this class as dot Java file x dot java and then compile it and then save it, and this public X is basically constructor which will basically call this, and you see so far this constructor is concerned, it is a method actually automatic method, and this constructor will attempt to access all the members, that means N, P, Q, R in this case. So, so far the accessing of this is concerned, as it belong to the same class, all these are okay. So, no compilation error it will put whenever you want to compile x.java file. So, this is the class X file and I hope you have understood it clearly. Now, let us come to the another class file, and this is the subclass of class X. So, Y extends X. Now, so far this class is concerned, you see it does not have any own member of its own. So, no issue, but it will try to access the member which is basically belong to its superclass X. Now, here you see, now here is basically the constructor is basically by using the constructor I want to discuss it, as there is a default. So, it is a public. So, you can say public it is, and this is also public constructor no way. Okay. So, this basically X, so it is basically the derived class subclass. This means that all public members will be accessible and then all protected member will be accessible, but any private will not be able to access. This is the concept, right, and as this class Y belongs to the same directory as the class X is apart from this one. So, all the default member there, the default member is N is also accessible. Now, so far this statement is concerned, this is okay because it is a default access in the same file accessible. Now, here P that is declared as a private, P is declared there as a protected, right. So, it is also private. So, private is now P is declared. Let us see what is the P is declared. Anyway, so here okay, let me just remind it that okay, how we have declared the P, it is there. Yeah. So, here exactly if you see P is declared as a private and then Q is declared as a protected and R is private, that we have to remember somehow to understand this concept, it is there. Okay, now, let us come here. So, here we can see so N is default, so it is accessible. Now, here P is declared as a private, so there is a problem because private cannot be accessed by any other class, this one. So, that is why this statement will give you a compilation error. If you put it comment, then all the compilation successful, otherwise it is there. Okay. And then here if you see the Q is a protected and as a Y is a derived class of this one. So, this is okay and the R is a public. So, it is accessible. Now, in order to run this program successfully, this statement should be commented, so that you can run it. If you do not commented it, it will give you a compilation error and compiler will report the compilation error at this point here only. Okay. So, this is the idea about the derived class subclass of the class X, which belong to the my package 1. Now, let us come to the another class that we have already planned, which belongs to the package my package 1 is the class A here. So, here is the declaration of class A here. Okay. So, this class A belong to this my package 1, yeah, we have included whatever the other main classes is there anyway. So, class A we have also do not declare any other explicit member of its own, it has the only constructor and our objective is that whether this class A can access any other members belong to this class, belong to any other class either x, y in the package or not, as y does not have any members. So, no question, it will consider only any members that belong to x. Now, here look at this one. So, we create an object x of class x, that means we want to access any members that belong to the class x or not. Now, so far this one it is not an error because it will work, because N is defined as a default access specification. By default it can be accessible to any class belong to the same directory, as this class A is belong to the same directory, it is possible. Now, here see this P is basically is a private and we want to access a private member from other class A here. So, this will report an error. So, it should be commented to successfully right, and Q is a protected cannot be accessed by non subclass, as A is a non subclass. So, it is an error and then R is a public member. So, it is okay. So, this will work for you. So, here in order to run this, so this and these two are to be commented, so that it can successfully run it. Okay. So, this is the class 3 classes that we have discussed with the 3 different modifications, it is there. Now, let us come to the another package called the my package 2, and in the my package 2 as I discussed, it has 2 classes, the class Z and class B. The class Z is basically the subclass of class X. So, it is, but it is in the different directory. Now, let us see what will happen. So far this class Z is concerned. Now, so it is Z, it does not have any members. So, okay, fine, only the constructor. Now, here this is the default accession. My default class member cannot be accessed outside any other class from the class which it is. So, if it is belong to the class my package 1 and this class Z is belong to my package 2, it cannot access this default class specific that. So, this is why it should give an error. So, it should be commented. Next is that private, as you know, private member cannot be accessible other than the class member itself. So, private P cannot be accessed from the class Z, which is in the other directory or in other packages. So, it should be commented also. Now, Q is a protected, as it is a derived subclass of X. So, protected member is accessible by inheritance. So, this is correct. Now, public is accessible. So, so far the Z class which belong to the another package is concerned. So, it can access other than these two it can access all other things are there. I hope you have understood this concept. Now, this is the Z class. Now, let us come to the discussion of another class which belong to the B. It is not a subclass of this one, it is a derived class. So, class B. Now, here B again we does not have any members. So, it is B method is here only, now here. So, B is basically here we my package P1 I am explicitly specifying that I want to create an object. So, x dot x new package I create a x, and for this x object I want to create n p, I want to access n p q r, where n is default in the class. Now, here as it is in the different directory, as you know x dot n is not accessible. So, the default variable is not accessible in this program. So, it basically is an error. So, it should be commented, and then here x dot p, p is a private member, cannot be accessed by any other class, belongs to anywhere. So, it is there, it is should be right, and then q also protected, it cannot be accessed anywhere. So, it should be commented. However, r is public. So, r can be accessed from anywhere. So, we have discussed about the different access modification if it is placed for some class in one package, and then how the distance classes belongs to some other package has the limitation. So, for the accessing of the member is concerned. Now, then okay fine, we can have a demo of this right, and then demo is basically you can run this one from the my package one and create the object, then you will see whether these objects are created successfully or not. Whatever the comment I have mentioned here, if you put it, then this statement will be correct, but if you uncomment all the statement, then it will report the errors where the access specification is violated by the rule of the access protection. So, that things is for your understanding. If you run this program, and then you will be able to understand more the things clearly. Now, this is regarding the packages. So, for the my package one concerned and one demo program that you can think about it. So, we will discuss the demo in details when we will discuss about it. Now, another demo program that belong to the my package also you can run, and you can see, you can create it, and then you can find it. So, it will create the two things, and you can. Now, here I want to mention one more thing is that, so here in this demo program I just limit the accessing of all the package that those are there, but in that case see suppose I can use import my pack 2 and my package 2, and here also import my package 1, then all the things that is there, and here also you can include both the things are there. So, I can create one class file, one demo file, say it is a demo 3, which basically import my package 1 and my package 2 together, and then run all the program, and then you will see exactly what will happen. Basically, all these things will be there, and then the report or the error will be due at the time of compilation. So, all the class file, if you are not able to successfully compile, so you cannot build the package, and once you are not able to put the class file prior, I mean after the compilation, so no way of creating this one. If you can successfully create it, then demo program will successfully run for you. So, this is the thing that you should consider on the way on what is there. So, this is all about the packages I want to convey to you, and that is the concept of the packages that you should have in your hold actually. Our next discussion is basically inheritance related much more. We have discussed the simple inheritance, and we have also mentioned at the time of that discussion that multiple inheritance is not allowed in Java, but in some situation you know multiple inheritance is not avoidable. It is obviously erroneous or gives lot of ambiguities while debugging your program, but it is also sometimes non avoidable, and it makes the programming easy if you can do it. Now, the question is that although technically the multiple inheritance is not possible in Java, but if it is required, can I do that how the multiple inheritance is possible. So, we will discuss about that concept, and then polymorphism is also very important concept. Polymorphism means same thing, but in a different places are there. Now, these multiple inheritance and polymorphism are the two concepts which can be achieved by means of another concept, interfaces. So, in our next module we will discuss about multiple inheritances and polymorphism in the disguise of interface. So, interface is our next topics are to be discussed in our next module. Okay, thanks for your attention.